Good morning, students. In this video, I shall discuss the structure of a bisexual flower. Now, in case of higher plants, which are commonly called the angiospermic plants, normally the angiospermic plants, which are called the flowering plant, and these plants are the most flourished plants in the plant kingdom or in our earth. Now, the success of these plants in the earth is due to their flowering property. Then what is this flowering and how this flowering occurs and what is a flower and how this is useful for this plant for their continuation of the generation in the earth. Now, any plant or any angiospermic plant, they have mainly two important characters or two important parts, you can say. These are the vegetative parts, and these vegetative parts, they normally take part in other activities of the plant other than reproduction. So that is why there is some specific part which is present in the angiospermic plant, that is called the reproductive part. And this reproductive part, it is nothing but your sexual reproductive part, because in lower plant there is the vegetative reproduction is more prominent, but here in case of angiospermic plant, the sexual reproduction is the most important process by which they continue their generation in the earth. Now, in case of angiospermic, the vegetative parts are mainly your stem, root, then the leaf, and there are so many other parts like your buds and underground stem, underground, so many modifications you will find there from the stem, root and leaves. But these parts, they normally do not take part in the sexual mode of reproduction. Of course, they take part in case of vegetative reproduction in some plants, but mostly they are engaged in other processes or activities of the plant. But this sexual reproductive plant, sexually reproductive part of the plant, that is mostly your flower. Then what is this flower? Flower is a modified shoot. Actually, it is developed from the plant, but this part is specially designed for the reproduction process or sexual reproduction process, and by this process the new generation is continued in the earth. Now this flower, which are basically of two types, they are either unisexual flower or they are either bisexual flower. Then what are unisexual flower and what are bisexual flower? As we have already studied, in case of sexual reproduction, there are two types of sexes you will find, that is the male and the female. So there are male flowers sometimes you will find and there are female flowers. So in some plants only male flowers are there, so these plants are called male plants and the flower is also a male flower. But sometimes in some plants there are the flowers, both male and female flowers are present in the same plant. So that is why this plant sometimes they are unisexual in nature. Unisexual means what? Now only either male flower is there or only female flower is there. So this plant is unisexual as well as the flowers are also unisexual. But in some other plants, what happens? Suppose this is the plant, but in the same plant, both male and the female flower, normally they are there in the same plant. So here what happens? The plant is actually bisexual. The plant is bisexual, but the flowers are unisexual because the male flower is different and the female flower is different. As in case of cucumber, cucurbita, there are different plants where you will find this type of flower. And first the male flower normally appears in the plant, after that the female flower appears and the pollination occurs. After pollination, the fertilization occurs, then the new seeds and embryo develops there. So that is why the plant is bisexual, but the flowers are unisexual. But in third case, what happens here? In the plant, the flowers which are there are normally bisexual flower. So bisexual flower means what? In the same flower, both male and female parts are present. Male and female parts or male and female wholes are present. So this type of flower are called bisexual flower, or these are also called the monoecious flower. And this type of flower, they contain both male and the female part, and the male part, they normally produce the male gametes called the pollen grains, and the female part, they produce the female gamete, or they are called the egg cells. Now, what are the important parts of the male and the female part in case of a flower? Now, look at the figure here. This is a just typical bisexual flower. And in a bisexual flower, normally two types of whorls are there. In a bisexual flower, two types of whorls are there. Some are called the accessory whorls. Accessory whorls or accessory pulp, which normally helps in the process of reproduction, but they do not take part in the direct, or they do not take part directly in the process of reproduction. And in this case, these are normally the two whorls, like your first one, the calyx. And this calyx whorl, it consists of number of sepals. Look, this is the outermost whorl, and these are the sepals, and these sepals normally present here in the outermost covering, and normally its main function is to protect the flower during the early developmental stage. So all the other whorls are present inner to it, so it helps in the protection of this inner whorl. Now next one, that is the corolla. And this corolla, it is another accessory whorl which consists of number of petals. And these petals are very much brightly colored. Sometimes some fragrance is there. So here, this is the colored part. And normally the sepals are green in color. But here, the petals are brightly colored, sometimes red, sometimes yellow, sometimes violet, sometimes purple. So that these attractive colors of the petals are very much useful for attract the insects during pollination. So normally they attract the insects for pollination. Sometimes these petals, they also have some fragrance, which are beautiful smell is there. That is why the insect also attract towards the petals of the flower, and unknowingly they help in the process of pollination. So that is why these two whorls, calyx and corolla, these are very much helpful for the process of reproduction, but they do not take part directly in the formation of the gametes or in the process of pollination or other processes of the development of the embryo. But the other whorls are called the reproductive whorls. Now, what are these reproductive whorls? And these reproductive whorls are of two types. The first one, that is the male reproductive whorl, and another one is the female reproductive whorl. And this male reproductive whorl, it is called the androecium. Androecium, and this androecium consists of number of stamens, and sometimes they are attached with the petals, and it is called the third whorl, and they are responsible for the formation or the production of the male gametes, or they are called the pollen grains. So the pollen grains are formed here, and the stamen that consists of different parts like the anther and the filament and the connective. And anther normally where the pollen sac, inside the pollen sac the pollen grains are formed. Now here another hole, that is the female reproductive hole, and this female reproductive hole is called gynoecium, and this gynoecium consists of number of pistils, and these pistils they consist of the style, stigma and ovary, and inside the ovary the ovule is there, and inside the ovule the embryo sac is there. Inside the embryos of the egg cells normally develop. So here during the gametogenesis the female gametes or the egg cells are produced here. So that is why this hole gynoecium, it is called the female reproductive hole, which consists of number of pistils, and these are having the different parts which helps in the production of the gamete. After production of the gamete, then the fertilization also occurs here and inside the ovule, and the ovule later on develop into the seed, and the whole ovary it develops into the fruit. So that is why the female hole is the most important hole in the sexually reproducing plant. In case of its female part is very much important. Now, what is the structure of the male and the female part, because which are very much useful during the process of sexual reproduction. And look at here, these are the different parts of a bisexual flower. This is the stalk of the pedicel of the flower, which normally connects to the stem or the different branches of the plant, and colors are there, and they are very much attractive, and this fragrance is also sometimes there, so they help to attract the insects for pollination. Now, next important hole, that is your male hole, and these are the anthers, and this is the filament, and anther and filament jointly it is nothing but the stamen. This is the stamen, or it is the male hole, which is androecium. Now androecium consists of number of stamens. Now next one, that is the next hole, it is your gynoecium, and this gynoecium consists of number of pistils, and each pistil having your stigma. The top portion or tip portion, it is the stigma, where actually the pollen grains are received. When the stigma is recipient, at the time the pollen grains when falls there, it normally proceeds here and that fall or germinate to form the pollen tube, and this pollen tube progress in this way, and finally it reaches to the ovule, which is present here, and the egg cell is there. So that is why the fertilization occurs here. Now the middle part or the long tube-like structure, this is called the style, and after that the last bulging part, this part, it is called the ovary, and inside the ovary the ovule, inside the ovule the embryo sac, inside the embryo sac the egg cell is there. We shall study in details about all these things, but now these are the different parts of a bisexual flower. And before going to the detailed process of the reproduction in case of flowering plant, this basic structure must be well acquainted by the student, so that it will be helpful for them in understanding all other gametogenesis process and fertilization, which we shall discuss later on. In first case, we shall study the gametogenesis, and this gametogenesis, it consists of two important gamete or formation of two important gametes. The first one is the male gamete or the pollen, and second one, that is the female gamete, or it is called the formation of the egg cell, and this process normally is called the microsporogenesis, and this is called the megasporogenesis. After the formation of the microspore or the pollen grain, after the formation of the egg cell or the megaspore, Then the next process, that is the transfer of the pollen grain from anther to stigma. That process is called the pollination, and we shall study in detail about this pollination process and how this pollination occurs and what are the different agents which not only help in the process of pollination. And after the transfer of the pollen grain, the next important process, the fusion of the male and the female gametes, and that process is called the fertilization. And this fertilization process, in case of plant, it is called the double fertilization. And how this double fertilization occurs here, the syngamy, the triple fusion, that we shall study in detail about this fertilization process. And post-fertilization events, the development of the embryo, how the embryo develops there inside the embryo sac. And this embryo, suppose it is a dicot plant, then it is a dicot embryo and a monocot embryo, how the cotyledon is formed and how cotyledon helpful for the development of the embryo. Now, structure different parts of the embryo, etc. we shall study in detail. Now, in this video, we shall discuss this much, and in the next video, we shall study the gametogenesis, first the microsporogenesis, then megasporogenesis, then we shall continue for the pollination, fertilization, development of embryo, etc. Then I hope this video will be useful for you, and if it is really useful for you, then please like it and subscribe for further videos. Thank you very much.